In my presentation, what I'm going to, in fact, this presentation is going to hint at three of the themes which are listed in the concept note. So, the first of all, this is my personal journey as well as my anthropological journey in the last 3-4 months. Also, some of the students who've been with me, especially my class of BSc second year, I have learned with them this idea of how digital fieldworks are conducted. So this is my experiment, my first experiment with conducting a digital fieldwork. Also, it is a peek into future, how individuals and groups are negotiating with the realities in the post-COVID life worlds. So the objectives are threefold. This presentation is dealing with all the themes which are mentioned in the concept note. The title of my presentation is Being Punjabi in the Pandemic, Convivial Gatherings in the Digital Sphere. This is the larger structure of my presentation. I'll tell you how this work started. I'll tell you a bit about the Punjabi digital sphere. Then I'll talk about the core, the meat of the argument, which is convivial gatherings. Of course, followed by some of my random, because it's a work in progress. My thoughts are not yet concrete, and I would really like a good feedback from you all. In February, I took a decision which had, at that time, I had no clue would change so much in my life, and that too in a big manner, professionally. The decision was to attend a refresher course in Provincial University, Guru Nanak Dev University at Amritsar. Unlike the popular image of refresher courses, the refresher course at Amritsar was very well planned. Apart from Punjab-centric lectures on various issues, we were also taken for heritage walks. The best part of the heritage walks was to visit this newly constructed partition museum in the city of Amritsar, which came up in 2018. This was in 17, after 70 years of India's partition. My Amritsar visit requires a separate academic treatment, but the crux of the visit is that it ignited a long suppressed desire to know a past which was not taught to us in the school textbooks. After that, when I come, this refresher course was for 2 weeks. I came back in March, and then we had an emergent staff council in the second week of March, where the head of the department, Professor Joshi, decided to go online. I have a confession to make. I was shocked because I had left Facebook some 10 years back because I was addicted to it. But my colleagues, including Dr. Avitoli, they helped me crossing that barrier. You see, once you're on social media is very dynamic. And apart from social media, you also start getting interested into video sharing platforms. And that is when I was exposed to multiple groups which were functioning. And these groups were mostly, and just because my Amritsar visit actually brought to my attention a lot of groups which I got interested because of this whole dynamic thing which was happening professionally as well as personally. But before I go to my next section, let me very briefly talk to you about the conceptual ideas which I'm using in this presentation. Punjabi is, of course, a speech community. And by speech community, I mean people who are related, who have community feeling, who have a shared kind of identity, a shared linguistic communication. Pandemic, as you all know, is an epidemic of an infectious disease that has spread across a large region, across the continents. Conviviality, if you see, this is a concept which I would like to go in little detail. The term convivial society was initially used by Ivan Ilyich to envision a post-industrial localized society of autonomous individuals and primary groups. The recent debates on conviviality has, however, entirely emanated from Paul Guillory's work. But if you see the dictionary meaning of the word, it is like being friendly or agreeable, a convivial, collegial atmosphere, people who get together for food, for drinks, jovial activities, and maybe a feast. But when it comes to the academic and now we are talking about the convivial turn, it is also parallel to post-humanist turn. Paul Guillory's refashioning of the concept against the backdrop of social religious tensions in post-imperial Britain at a point where multicultural broke down. Guillory's interpretation, conviviality denoted acceptance and affirmation of diversity without restaging communitarian conception of ethnic and racial differences. And even in South Asian context, we have people like Tom Chambers and Ajay Gandhi who have studied Delhi setting and Saharanpur setting using the same kind of concept. The understanding has subsequently been refined to provide an analytical tool to ask and explore in what ways and under what conditions people constructively create modes of togetherness. And that is the core of my work also. And that is what my digital fieldwork is going to take you to. The final idea is the digital sphere, a communicative sphere provided or supported by online or social media, from website to social network sites, web blogs, microblogs, where participation is open and freely available to everybody who's interested, where matters of common concern can be discussed, and where proceedings are visible to all. My Punjabi digital sphere. The picture on the slide is channel, a Punjabi literary channel, which is run by the Delhi University's, one of faculty members from Delhi University's Punjabi department. And it is quite a big circle. When I got to know, I was actually surprised. I was telling my colleague, Professor Sardev, a few days back that how I've been overwhelmed in my personal life because of information I'm finding on the social media. So you have channels. These channels are both in Indian Punjab as well as in Pakistani Punjab. And also people in the diaspora. If you see, he has almost 4 lakh followers. And you have, other channels, including Pendu Australia, which is run by somebody in Australia. These groups, they touch many issues. They talk about the contemporary literary scene as well as partition narratives. They also talk about pre-colonial and colonial issues related to pre-colonial and colonial Punjab. And they cut across disciplines. So you'll see anthropologists, sociologists, historians coming together, discussing things. So finally, in March, I discovered this particular group on my own because some people on my group, they were sharing some of the lectures by this particular group. If you see, the mission of the group is written on the page. Basically, this group is based in Pakistani Punjab in a city called Faisalabad, which was earlier known as Lalpur. Lal was one of the Englishmen who designed this city, in whose time this city was designed. This city was designed much before the partition, and it is the 3rd largest city in Pakistan after Lahore and Karachi. And their main purpose is to create, they are a historians group, and their purpose is to create and archive material on historical and other social scientific knowledge in Punjabi language. And they are creating an archive for students. So organizers themselves, they are university professors, Khola Chima and Tohid Chatta. And they have a collaborator in Amritsar, Munich Singh. The audience of the group includes university and college teachers from various social science disciplines, and also students, amateur scholars who are interested in the history and culture of Punjab. You have writers on the group, you have journalists on the group, you have TV hosts, and there is a lot of general audience which is there on the group. So if you see the type of events which are there on these groups, these include history lecture series, and almost 50 lectures have happened on the group in last 4 months, last 3-4 months. You have a reading group, and then there is a special series on city as it was, and they have discussed various cities in this particular group. And you have also events, for example, the first picture on the slide is celebrating the death ceremony of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So I'll quickly go through my data. This picture is from Maharaja Ranjit Singh Darbar. He was Punjab's Maharaja during early 18th century. So some of my observations, if you see, there's a picture, and you might see how the proceedings. This is the beginning of the lectures, and this is where my data is based. So you see a lot of fatigue expressions. So fatigue is basically, this is Malinowski's definition of fatigue. Fatigue serves to establish bonds of personal union between people brought together by the mere need of companionship. So you see like Ji Ayanu, welcome, and other kind of fatigue expressions. You see the use of different scripts. And you see, Punjabi was a common language. It was a folk language. It was the language of the people. But during the colonial times, it was divided into scripts like Gurmukhi, Shamukhi. You also wrote Punjabi in Devanagari, and that is the kind of damage colonial government did. A lot of poetic expressions, these are there. Right? Also, there are some of the posters that indicate how nostalgia, it is through nostalgia that people, they express themselves. Also, people, just because they are in a convivial, in a very friendly gathering, sometimes, they share their personal experiences. If you see, slide, my picture, Jappreet Kaur Bhangu has written, my mother was around 10 years old when she and her family moved to this side from Gujar Khan Rawalpindi. Till now, she vividly remembers all the people, streets, and homes, dreams about her homes, and yearning to go back. So, people have this uncanny sense of dreaming about the places where they were born, or even their parents or grandparents, if they were born there. That trauma is still being carried by generations of people. So just see towards the end of the conversation in this slide, people are, Amandeep is writing Sanja Punjab, Poonam Ayub is writing Sanja Punjab Zindabad. So in a way, people raise these slogans of shared future, and these are expressions of solidarity. Just to conclude, I hope I'm able to connect these dots which I have gathered. Although I've not put in many slides, there are many other aspects which come into play when it comes to the real, lectures happening, because these are Facebook Live lectures. And a lot of interaction happens once the speaker comes, and a lot of questions are asked, a lot of comments are made, people like each other's comments, and it's a very, very convivial atmosphere in which people, in a way, they are also negotiating with their COVID life worlds. Obviously aware of the fact that this is a very, very middle class project. People who have resources, they are the one who are going beyond their fears, who are not sitting on TV sets and not listening to the news, which creates paranoia, but they are coming and negotiating with their post-COVID life worlds on these websites. These are also, modes of knitting togetherness, and the kind of and the definition I was referring to, that how these platforms provide a psychological space which facilitates sharing of memories, anxieties, and future in a safe and congenial environment. Also, there are talks about, and already, cross-border dialogues are happening, global dialogues are happening. A lot of people from Western universities and both the Punjabs, they have already initiated this dialogue. They come and speak. They also answer a lot of questions which are raised in the chat boxes. Digital archiving is happening, and the production and reproduction of knowledge which may negotiate the confines of nation states, religions, regions, castes, and genders. People have already started questioning the narrow nationalistic boundaries through which histories are written. You see, through this new form of sociality is emerging, where this suppressed identity, you see, in our daily lives, we may go to office, we may have works at home, we may be involved in some kind of party, we may be attached to a political party, and that takes away a lot of our time, and we do not really explore our own identities. These are those suppressed parts of our identity. And I was lucky that I went to Amritsar, and where I met few people, and I went around, and I was able to connect to my roots. A new channel of engagement in loose, temporal, and elastic collectivities operating in social media environment can be transformed into physical setting. For example, the coming up of Kartarpur corridor has given a lot of hope to the diaspora, because this opening of corridor can now be used for various things, including opening up of conference halls, and maybe a hospital or something where people from both sides can come and get treated. Shared spaces, they are creating new modes of togetherness. With that, I conclude my presentation. I just want to mention that, my friends Nitika Sood and Vikalp Kumar, they really helped me through this presentation. And my partner Shivani Mahajan and my BSc second year class. I really learned a lot from you this semester. Thank you so much.